Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But today at 12 UTC, you are doing your TGE and also the launch of your token on two exchange, Gate.io and MEXC. Linex is a project, a protocol which is incepted by one of the co-founder of previously ApeSwap, which is ApeBond, ApeGuru. And here, the solution that Linex is providing is basically a solution for automatic liquidity management, basically democratizing the fact of earning money by providing liquidity to DEXs. Am I correct till now?
That is 100% correct. And that's also a very good summary. We are much more than just that, but yeah, like the TLDR of our protocol, Linex, would be that we're at its base, we are an AMM or decentralized exchange with many very exciting avant-garde features. Yeah, I think we'll get into those later on, but that's a great summary right there.
Cool. So before we start, for everybody which is listening to us, there is some tokens, Linex tokens, to earn winning the NFT battles. So through the Linex post, where you should follow Linex, you can scan all this QR code and receive for free these NFTs, and you can battle with us in the tournament. At the end of the tournament, 5 winners are going to be popping up on the ranking, and they're going to receive some prizes. Also, following us on the Twitter, replying to the questions that the moderator are going to ask and DM the answer, you're going to get some more goodies. So stay with us. It will be packed with a lot of information regarding the project, which is launching right now. It's always cool to know exactly about a project, what they are providing, and just at the moment where they launch, so you don't miss anything. So, Krugo, you said Linex is much more than just that. And I think we're going to deep dive progressively into it. But I think that the fact that you are focusing at first on the ALM is very key, because basically ALM is solving the key criteria of bringing liquidity. Without liquidity, there is no DEX, there is no DeFi. And when you have liquidity well managed, this is where you can actually build more financial product, more decentralized finance product. And then that derive into IDOs and other products that you can build on the protocol. But the most important thing is to get sure that we have fair and accessible liquidity management. Is that the strategy that you plan? And if yes, like we can start slowly with the ALM and then derive into like what is the roadmap that you have in mind, and also explain a bit like the function of the token.
With one another in our protocol to give our liquidity providers the best rates, the best rewards and the lowest risk for impermanent loss, while our users enjoy the deepest liquidity and the lowest swap fees. So that's kind of like at a higher level what we're offering. But to really understand the value of that, I think you have to dive into what an ALM is and why it kind of was called into existence in the first place. So to explain that, we have to go into the history of decentralized exchanges a little bit and how AMMs operate. And the story kind of begins many years ago. Yes, Uniswap V1. I don't know how many of you guys were around when that came out, but yeah. So before Uniswap, there wasn't really a way to like efficiently trade tokens on chain. There was like Ether Delta, and there were like some other hacky things that kind of took off for a little bit, but then died out because the way that a blockchain works, like the way that time progresses in a blockchain, is it's very difficult to make to get like a fully on-chain trading system for that. And then some really smart people came around. I think the initial draft paper for Uniswap, I think, was co-authored by Vitalik, or he had like something to do with it at least. And the genius idea of that was that they came up with a formula, a very simple formula with a constant is X plus Y or something like that, like a 3-letter formula. It's very simple that kind of allowed people to create liquidity pools online, and then users could insert tokens and take out other tokens, and that way you could trade with a pool instead of having to always find like another person that kind of needed the same tokens that you were trying to sell at the time, blah blah blah. So that was Uniswap V1, and at that time it was only possible to trade ERC20s.
Krugo. Just like we need to be mindful that there are people that are like jumping into the stream right now and perhaps don't know what is it about. So let me summarize again. So LineX is launching today in 2 hours, the TGE, and it's a protocol which is democratizing liquidity providing. And why is that important is because basically, like in every financial systems and also decentralized financial system, the people that are making normally like the most money are the people that are providing liquidity for these tools and this infrastructure to work. That's why you see in traditional finance market makers, but also like in decentralized finance market makers that are automated with a very simple concept. You put 2 coins, one side of a pair, for example, USDT, and the other side links, for example. And because you are providing liquidity token that can be used by participants, you are getting rewarded with transaction fee. And just to come back to what you said, it started with Uniswap, with their first V1, and then they have been creating like more version. And I believe, if I understood correctly, Krugo, let me know if it's right, you saw that actually Uniswap new version were actually getting more and more complex and serving more and more the bigger guys, and not actually retail participants that normally like the decentralized space should be addressing. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. So and thanks for the summary, because I do tend to get maybe a little bit in my own head, and I just baffle on about like history and like very specific things. So just every now and then when you feel like we need to halt me and kind of give a summary for the listeners back home, please feel free to do so.
Yeah, I will do that. I will do that. I would say, Krugo, let's do that.
Let's do that. Yeah, just throw me an air horn whenever I'm going too fast. So so it's really all about democratizing that liquidity provisioning, because as I explained, LPing, like liquidity providing, used to be quite simple with Uniswap V1 and also with Uniswap V2. It was very simple to provide liquidity because there was only one way to provide liquidity, which is you take 2 tokens that you want to pair, ETH, USDC, for example. You pair them and you throw them in a pool, and then in exchange for that you get an LP token, and then you go and just wait. You sit and you wait, and if you're lucky, there's enough trading to kind of counterbalance the impermanent loss that you might incur. So it was really, really set and forget, which meant that it was kind of low barrier to entry. Anybody could do it. It was completely democratized. There was nobody had like an advantage over anybody else. Like if you have more money, obviously you can make more fees, but that's because you're also helping the general volume and TVL and liquidity of these DEXs. So it was fair. There was no unfair advantage. It was like a linear. balance between how much
distribution.
money you had.
Yes.
Yeah. There was no unfair competition, at least.
And before we go now into like the problems that the next version of Uniswap brought that actually LineX is solving, let me bring like I think like a key information. The founder of LineX is a crazy guy, like which is going with the pseudonym of App Guru, and he's a founder of AppSwap. And I think like people they know AppSwap or one of the co-founders of AppSwap, like it was very easy, very down to earth logo, you know, and branding, but also like a lot of functionality that were like put to retail. And one of the things that I heard, and perhaps I have not all the information, but at least on all the protocols that were like used by so much people, AppSwap never lost any money there. And that's why, like, you know, having like one of the co-founders that was part of this protocol building and created LineX on the ALM, I think is very interesting because you have then tendency to think like, oh, the guys know what he's doing. And also, he also know how to get sure that the protocol is running fine and is going to be able to reach like critical mass very quickly. That's true. Like the story of AppGuru, AppSwap, and the fact that AppSwap didn't lost money, and basically like we are now thinking that LineX is going to be positioned as a protocol that is solving the ALM that we're going to discuss afterwards. Is in the hand of people that bootstrap their project and have the experience and the knowledge how to do that. Huh?
Yeah, correct. So our founder, Ape Guru, is also the co-founder of what was formerly known as ApeSwap. Currently, they have rebranded into Ape Bond. But yeah, back in the day, ApeSwap was a very, very well-known decentralized exchange on the Binance Smart Chain. At one point, I believe they had $500 million TVL, and like you said, they never lost a penny, I believe. So, yeah, if you look at it from like a founder's perspective, they have done really well. And so all that expertise that was like gained there by our founder. Yeah, that is now being ported over to LineX, and not just Ape Guru. We also have like help and advisors from ApeSwap on board. So there's always some you know how it goes, right? If you make friends like that,
it's compounding.
Something beautiful like that. Yeah. It's also like a lifelong relationship that you build on, and you carry that over to the other projects that you work on. So yeah, definitely a lot of expertise from there is being ported into LineX. Yeah, that's a good point.
And now let's go back to the issue, like and trying to make it like the simplest possible. V1 of Uniswap, you just bring like two sides of a pair, and basically you are exposed to the liquidity. But then with the next version, you had, I would say, more flexibility, which was great for professionals, but like a bit more complex for normal retail, where you could define like range where you want to bring liquidity. So for example, you will say, I'm bringing liquidity on the Ethereum at $2,000, but if the price is like at 2,700, like it is right now, you are not participating into the liquidity providing, and basically your money is stuck there, but you don't get any fees. And the more version Uniswap has brought, the more complexity was built into it in order to help professionalized liquidity provider, but not too much understandable for the mortals here. And here, like with LineX, you are doing something very different, correct?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you give really good summaries. I have to say.
Thank you.
So the one of the biggest inventions in liquidity over the last couple of years has been what is known as concentrated liquidity. And like you said, instead of just depositing tokens across the entire price range, like no matter where the price goes, you will keep providing liquidity. With concentrated liquidity, you can set ranges on your liquidity so that when the price moves outside of those ranges, you stop providing liquidity. So this allows LPs to use their liquidity much more efficiently. So with less capital, you can create deeper liquidity. Now, the downside of this is that you have to keep an eye on what the price does, because as soon as it moves outside of the range, you stop providing liquidity. You're no longer gaining fees. You're no longer making that profit from the fees, but you're still like exposed to impermanent loss. So it really is a double-edged sword. On the one side, your money is much more powerful. On the other side, you have much more overhead. So one way to solve that problem is by introducing an automated liquidity manager, which does exactly what it says. It takes your liquidity and it automatically manages it for you. So you use this only for concentrated liquidity. Obviously, you don't need this for old school Uniswap V2 liquidity. But yeah, you kind of introduce a third party using smart contracts, which is the beauty of Ethereum and EVM and smart contracts, is that you can do this trustlessly. So you give the ALM the right to adjust your liquidity price ranges without giving up the custody of your liquidity, because otherwise, obviously, that will be a huge risk. But by giving it to them through a smart contract, they never your funds are never at risk of getting taken away. They can only change your price ranges. So what you have then is a system where you can enjoy the power of concentrated liquidity while not really having to take care of your own liquidity. So the automated liquidity manager, they have all these algorithms and expertise and bots that take care of your liquidity. They look at the price, they look at all these charts, and there's a lot of technical analysis going on and a lot of historical data being used, machine learning, anything they have in their arsenal. It's pretty high-end stuff. And you just give your liquidity to them and they manage it in the most optimal way. Another benefit of this is that you can also kind of create your own risk profile. Like, what do I want my liquidity to be? Do I want it to have like a little bit of a wider range, and maybe I'll lose a little bit of that power, but I'll be less exposed to the impermanent loss or to my liquidity moving out of range? Or do I go really tight around the price and go really high on capital efficiency, but also higher risk once it moves out of the price range? So there's now this kind of game that you can play with your liquidity, and we let that game be played by the ALMs. Now, this is not new. Like, automated liquidity management has been around for a little bit. It's still fairly new, but the problem with it is that decentralized exchanges that offer automated liquidity, or ALMs, they often only offer one ALM. So they partner with an ALM, and then this company or this project will manage all the liquidity in their pools. Now, one problem with that is that sometimes pools need to rebalance and liquidity positions need to be changed. And if you have only one ALM, this can cause some issues. But another problem is that the ALMs are not really held accountable. They're kind of, monopoly is not a word I like to throw around willy-nilly, if you will. But if you have only one ALM on a DEX that manages all the liquidity, they don't really feel the heat, so to say. So their own TVL, like their own their own systems, really, and people can select within them, and we create this kind of natural.
Krugo, let me bring it like a bit like summarize quickly like everything that you're appreciating, exactly the details of what you're saying. Just want to get sure like that the newbies that are joining us on the stream are also able to understand. Making money in DeFi can be done through providing liquidity to protocols. Of course, there are some inherent risks. due to the fact that it's smart contract, everything can go wrong, and so on. What we're doing today is no financial advice. We are speaking about a project which is launching, but you are all grown up. You need to do like your. But except the fact that in everything in DeFi like has risk with smart contract, here we are speaking about a project which help you to participate into this liquidity market and make money by delegating your money under still your custody, because it's on the smart contract, but you are the control of the fund. And instead of having just professional liquidity providers that are using this liquidity pool and make money for them, these people are actually using the money that you have under your custody in order for you to participate in the most efficient way to the liquidity pool. So you have like this AOM that you described, that are people that are strategists in terms of they know which pair they should select, they know also how they should calibrate the range and everything for you to maximize your exposure into the liquidity pool. Is that correct? And if yes, what is actually like, how can you become an AOM?
Yeah, that is correct. And how can you become an AOM? The answer to that is capital and experience, which again translates to capital. So that's the problem. Like, if anybody could be an AOM, we didn't have to democratize it. But since it requires a bunch of capital, it requires a lot of expertise. It's not really something anybody can just pick up and do, you know? So we need more of that on the same platform so that we can let them fight it out amongst each other.
And right now, like, how much AOMs do we have onboarded?
So we're launching. I believe we're launching with 2 AOMs, yep. Gamma and Itchy, and yep. They all have their own features. For example, Gamma is more old school AOM that has their own version of narrow and stable pools. Whereas Itchy, for example, is they can also do all of that, but they also have a thing called Yield IQ, which is one-sided staking, where you, as a user, because I kind of forgot to mention this, but one of the things we often say is that we want to have the barrier of entry as low as possible for everybody, for LPs, for users, for traders. So Itchy allows users to deposit 1 token into a pool. So if you only have ETH, for example, and you wanna provide liquidity, you can come to us and just deposit ETH, and then Itchy will divide that over ETH USDC, for example. And
Okay. So basically, right now, like, again, I'm repeating, Linex is launching now in 1.5 hours on Gate and MEXC. I would say like it's a project that we got lucky to discover through one of your VCs, which also like have also interest in our project, and otherwise we will not have found it out. And we're gonna go through the tokenomics, also like the fully diluted valuation, number of tokens, and what is the usage of the tokens. But basically right now, like, the ecosystem is bootstrap, but you already have the product working. That means like everything is ready on day one, like now. And you already have AOM onboarded. You have 2, and you're going to onboard much more AOMs. And basically here, what we can see is like it's an opportunity to be able to take benefit of providing liquidity, market liquidity, into a protocol which is starting right now on Linear, and most probably will open up to other blockchain later on. But just a little parenthesis, we are speaking about Linear, which is a Linear blockchain, which is a consensus-backed blockchain. I mean, it's built by consensus, which they are also the builders of MetaMask, which means like you have like a pool of users worldwide, which is like unequalated. They have so much users. Most probably will help to onboard much more users onto the Linear blockchain. And because it's an EVM compatible Ethereum-like, for you, it was really easy to port and create like this Linux infrastructure into Linear and get all the advantage of an EVM compatible engine, but in the same time, it has ZK rollups on top of it, which like are going to be interesting in everything which is anonymity and also like confidential data. So my understanding, this ecosystem that you're building on Linear, we can be ported on other blockchain afterwards, is bootstrapping with already having like 2 participants from the AOM plus the community, which is right now being able to participate into the whole ecosystem by having the Linex token. Am I right till now, Krugo?
Yeah, that's all correct. That's again a good summary. We are launching in 1.5 hours. You can buy our tokens on MXC, on Gate.io, and then some days from now, I believe it's 4 days from now, we will also launch on the decentralized exchange, Linex. We will launch on our own DEX, obviously. Once TG has happened and once our DEX is live, you can then buy our token directly from the pool, or you can earn it by providing liquidity. There's many ways to benefit from the protocol. I guess there's a lot of interesting stuff.
So let's say like in 1.5 hours, I go to Gate or MEXC, and if I buy the token, what are the first things I can do with this token? Because like it has several utility, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you have just like 100 million of Linex, and out of this Linex, you have derivative tokens that are being created that have special function. My understanding of it is you have some of the functions that gave you capacity to buy Linex again at a cheaper price. Plus also you have a derivative token, which is called like the V-Links, that give me the possibility to vote on the protocol itself and decide about the direction of the protocol. And also I can choose, and this is where like I really want you can confirm that I can also choose to which AOM I want my liquidity to be managed from in order to maximize my return. That's correct? And we're going to ask some questions. So if you are listening to the stream right now, like we're going to ask some questions in the chat, and the guys that have it correct and understood exactly what Kruger is going to say, you can DM Linex and us, and you're going to get some goodies. So please, Kruger.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to ask, because this is quite complex. I'm not gonna lie. Like the tokenomics of what we call a V33 DEX is not that easy to grasp. Like it takes a while to wrap your head around. But yeah, so far so good. There's our native token. It's called Lynx, LYNX. This token is tradable. It's just a regular ERC20, as you know. This one is going to be the token that we launch on MEXC and Gate.io, and also 15 minutes after that, the token will be tradable on our DEX. The pools will go live. So this Lynx token is the base of the protocol. What can you do with this token? So because we are a V33 DEX, our tokenomics are somewhat, some of the features of our tokenomics are taken from Curve, which is also a V33 DEX.
Yep.
And Velodrome. There's a couple of big ones that are really famous that use V33 as well. So the Lynx token can be locked into our protocol, and once you lock it, you can decide how long you want to lock it for. You can lock it up to 2 years. The maximum lock period is 2 years. And the longer you lock it, the more voting power it grants to you over the system. And this voting power is super valuable because it allows you to select pools. You can vote on different pools, and you can vote on multiple pools at once. Every epoch, you get a chance to vote. And the pools that you vote on, whatever fees are generated in those pools, 100% is being paid out to the voters. So once you lock your V-Links, your links for V-Links, you vote, and then you get the trading fees from the protocol. That's how V-Links.
And
yeah.
I heard you can also do that, and also don't bother about the voting, but actually delegate your votes too if you want to just like do something very passive. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's actually another one of our unique selling points. Like this has never been done before, as far as I know. We are V33 DEX that allow these lockup periods of your tokens, and then allow you to vote and um, rake in the fees of the protocol. But normally this means that every week you have to cast new votes, and you have to divide your votes between pools and make these decisions, right? It's again, that's a lot of overhead, which is not necessarily bad. I mean, a token that generates rewards, I mean, nothing is for free. So if you are generating rewards, you got to put in a little bit of work. However, for to stick with our motto, which is let's keep the barrier to entry as low as possible. We created this system where users can lock their token and then delegate their voting power to either an ALM or to Linux ourselves. So what this does is the ALMs and Linux will try to make the best votes that they can do. And then instead of you having to do all this thinking and calculating and predicting and blah, 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 you just delegate to whatever ALM you see is generating a lot of value. And that way you don't have to do anything. You just set and forget, and you still get paid out the rewards.
That's amazing. And now, like to get like risk mitigation. So in all of this DeFi, like the biggest risk are mostly like coming from smart contract issues. But I think you've already done some security audits. That's correct. Like, and if you can give us some detail, like I think the audit has also been published on the website, huh? So it's Web3 Secure, correct?
It's Secure 3 is the name, I think.
Yep.
But yeah, they we have done a full audit of our systems.
Yep.
It's done by Secure 3, and this is the first one of many audits that will be done. But yeah, the way that Secure 3 actually they came back, like the way it goes with an audit is you hand over the contracts. And then you start a discussion about things that can be improved, blah, blah, blah. And so we took care of all the things that they thought needed to be looked into. And then at the end of the day, you get like a finalized result and a final bunch of contracts. And that's what we have deployed eventually. So yeah, we're fully audited by Secure 3. Secure 3 is actually a really cool Web3 auditing firm. Yeah, what they do is so normally auditing firms are more like TradFi auditing firms. You give them a job. You say, hey, this is what we need to look into. The money that decentralization, exactly. So what you do is you give they give you a quota, and that quota is then used to attract auditors from all over the world. Anybody that they have vetted, they have a pool of vetted auditors, and they then come in and with like many different sets of eyes, they go through the code and they all try to find stuff that can be a security issue. So it's more decentralized. It's more market driven in a way. And it's just at the end of the day, you have more eyes looking at your code. So
it's great.
We're really excited about that audit.
Yes, and also like the fact that I'm going to mention that again, like the fact that Linux founder is also like one of the co-founder of the App Swap, a product and project that has been used by a lot of people and never lost any money till now. So great for them.
That's I totally forgot that. That's the whole track record of Ape Guru is of course speaking for itself. Like I think Ape Swap was number 3 DEX on BSC at one point, and that's huge. And like I said before, they never lost a single penny, I believe. Yeah. So
I mean, there is always a first time. You never know, but at least like they have some track record and they did pay attention till now, so everything was fine. I have another question, Krugo. I saw in the website like about Algebra. So what is Algebra exactly doing? Are they like strategists? Are they like people that are actually building some of like the strategies that are being used into the liquidity market, or what are they exactly doing?
So Algebra is not an ALM. Algebra is more comparable to, let's say, Uniswap. So Algebra has certain infrastructure that allow people to deploy pools. Similar to Uniswap, the Uniswap also has a bunch of smart contracts that people can fork and use, and that's why all these DEXs now, a lot of them are built on the Uniswap code base. Ours is built on the Algebra code base, and we think Algebra is better because it has certain features such as dynamic fees that we found really interesting. So yeah, we partnered with them, and we're using some of their smart contracts to create the infrastructure of our AMM. And dynamic fees is a feature that when volume in pools goes down, the fee is automatically adjusted to lower so that it attracts more volume again. And then as volume goes up, the fee will go down so that the fee will go up to maximize the profits.
And what about Tena? You're also building on the base of Tena, correct?
Yeah, so Thena is a V33 DEX built on the Binance Smart Chain, and we are a friendly fork of them. So we partner with them, and we use some of their code to create a similar platform. And yeah, they've been helping out, and they've been a great partner. Shout out to them. Also an amazing product on Binance Smart Chain. Check them out. But yeah, we are also much more than just that. Of course, as I pointed out earlier, we've added a whole bunch of interesting features that I think have been are unprecedented. Another one that I think we might want to go into a little bit, if we have the time for it, is option tokenomics.
Yes, do that. That's what I wanted to go through it. So in 1 hour, 20 minutes, something like this, the trading of your token is going to be unlocked on Gate and MEXC. And total supply 100 million. What are like the utility of the token? As you said, like you can stake it and then we can have like voting power. This voting power can be also delegated to the strategist, and then I can build my passive yield, building and providing like liquidity. But there is also this option link derivative. So how does it work exactly?
Right. So when it comes to links token, the real use case there is locking it and then exerting your government's power over the protocol.
Yep.
In exchange for fees. And then when we go into O-tokenomics or option tokenomics, we're talking about O-links, which is another token in our platform. So let me explain a little bit about O-tokenomics. This is also a very new concept within LP liquidity DEXs. So what normally happens is DEXs pay out their liquidity providers in regular liquid tokens. So for example, if you look at SushiSwap, if you stake your LPs, your LP tokens from
you get some sushi, otherwise cake.
You get some sushi, right? Exactly, which is that was also at the time revolutionary because that was quite hard to build on a blockchain.
But in the same time, that creates sell pressure, and I think like you introduce the OL in order to reduce this part, correct?
Yeah, so that's what it's really all about. Like you don't want your token to just be handed out willy-nilly so that it can be dumped on the market and then create all that downward pressure. So that's where O-tokenomics comes in. So instead of rewarding our LPs with liquid links tokens, we instead reward them with option links, O-links. And what this is, it's called an option token because it allows you to kind of call a strike price to buy links at a discount.
Yep. So basically, what you get, it's a utility token, like which is a derivative of the links. So 100 million supplies, that doesn't move. But when you are like actually providing active liquidity, then you get rewarded with this OL links, which is a derivative token, which is like a coupon in order to be able to buy the links token at a cheaper price. That's correct?
Yeah, so that's correct. Yeah, go on.
And by doing so, you're reducing the sell pressure of rewarding people with your own token because you just gave them an option to actually stake more. So it's a kind of a virtuous cycle there, yeah?
Indeed. And excuse me. Another beautiful thing about that is there's actually multiple things you can do with your OLinks token. So the first feature that you can use it for is you buy links at a discount. And these discounts can get really nice. Another option you have with your option token is that instead of buying links, you exchange it, or you purchase V-links with it, which is the locked version of links. And if you purchase V-links with a pretty decent lockup period, you can actually get like super juicy discounts. So again, this is all with keeping the longevity of the project in mind. And yeah, so it really creates this option, this multiple options for our liquidity providers. There's even a third feature that we're implementing down the line, where you can also buy, or buying is not really the right word, but like use your option token to purchase LP tokens for liquidity protocol. So that way, instead of just selling the immediate tokens, the emissions, the links, liquidity providers are actually incentivized to thicken the liquidity of the protocol after they have already provided liquidity.
Yeah, I got it. So basically, like now my understanding is more like by starting like tackling like the ALM market, you are productizing every aspect of the life cycle of providing liquidities and all like the participant. That's why like you already have these three derivatives, but most probably you're going to have like much more utility when you go into like the IDOs and all the rest of the things, because as soon as you have like a protocol which is able to manage liquidity efficiently, then you can raise the bill, you can build the rest of DeFi on top of it like very easily. Krugo, just before we go like perhaps on the next step, like which is like the IDOs and all that and all the things that you have like prepared. Can you give us like a breakdown on the tokenomics? Like what is like the fully diluted valuation right now, and also like the TVL locked on the protocol, if any, because it's fresh. Most probably like people that are jumping into the stream, they don't even know that you're launching in an hour on the exchanges. So if you can give us like a bit of numbers.
Sure. Yeah. The FDV and the tokenomics of Linex are maybe not really what people are used to hearing, because Linex is a token that you use it, like it's a utility token that you lock, and then you can accrue rewards. And to incentivize the LPs, we still have to, in some way or another, mint new tokens. So there is inflation with Links token. However, because we want to also protect people that are locking their links, there is a thing called rebase protection. So if you lock your links, you are protected from the inflation to a certain extent. And this is common in V33 protocols. However, we also added like a formula to this rebase protection, so that over time the rebase protection kind of declines. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but this is why something like our FDV at TGE is going to be 6 million, I believe. So at 6 million FDV, this is a number that might grow quite quickly, because obviously there's going to be more tokens in circulation half a year from now, for example. So all these numbers you have to interpret them a little bit different than as you usually might with a token that has a steady TVL, or sorry, a steady total supply. But yeah, so the FDV price will be 6 million.
It's very low, huh?
It sounds low because of the reasons that I just described.
Yeah. It sounds very low. And
Decubate and DAOmaker, what their release schedules look like.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's something also to mention. Like the fact that you are doing like DAOmaker and Decubate, it's also cool because DAOmakers, they are also like very well renowned like on the market. They are doing like quite thorough due diligence. We know the people from DAOmaker quite well. We like them a lot. So the fact that you launch on DAOmaker and Decubate like also means that the project has been looked at very carefully, and it must be very exciting right now, like Krugo, like now we're like having the launch and everything bootstrapped. The first user like trading your tokens, and then most probably like you are preparing like the post launch with a launch of an announcements, partnerships, and things going on as soon as the protocol gets into the hand of the people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Super excited. Like the team has been working their ass off for the last months, for the last 6 months, I would say. We've been nothing but heads down building. So yeah, also making all these relationships, setting up all these partnerships. It's been a ride for sure, and super excited that we can go live today. And yeah, that's a good thing you pointed out. Oh yeah, 100%.
Sorry, Krugo, shoot again, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's a good thing you pointed out the DAOmaker and Decubate guys. They've been amazing, and obviously DAOmaker and Decubate are two very renowned launchpads.
Yeah,
and we like even changed the tokenomics a little bit, because they have their own standards that you have to meet before you get to launch on like an A-tier launchpad like that. You can't just go there and mess around with tokenomics.
No, they provide most of these people. They provide like very valuable feedback in order to help like the dynamic of it. Huh?
Yeah, they have to keep their reputation high. They have to. Their users need to be protected because that's their business. So their investors are not going to get a launch of a project that has weird tokenomics. So again, still do your own research 100%. But I kind of mean to say also that they vetted for us the fact that we get to launch on them. Also the fact that MXC and Gate.io are having us is a big stamp, I would say. Yeah.
Krugo, we have a couple of minutes left. I'm gonna share my screen with like some more QR codes. People can scan it and keep on playing. Like we have the winners that are being profiled and I'm gonna receive Linex token.
Oh, we have winners?
Not yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Like they are still playing and fighting. I can see a lot of people like fighting like crazy. There is some Linex token to win.
Where you saw that, I didn't know if that was public information yet, but I don't mind dropping a little bit of alpha. But I'm not sure if that's confirmed. We have like for sure the next months as partnerships with Anchor, Beefy, Davos, Overnight, Kida. We got like a bunch of like LST projects, stablecoin, like value accrue yield bearings that all are going to put liquidity and bootstrap their tokens into Linea using Linex. So those are some things we're looking forward to. Obviously, more security things. We're going to invest more in audits. Those things are our top priority as well. Yeah, a bunch of ways that we can, a bunch of
and this is a great start. The rest like is going to follow very quickly, I believe. Right now, is that like 1 hour? Yeah, in 1 hour on Get on MEXC, the token is going to be released. In order to keep the token, so we've been working also like on supporting Linea, also on the Dopamine app. I think the testing has started this morning and it's being finalized. So basically, like you can take your Linex token and also hold that directly into your Dopamine wallet or MetaMask or any other EVM compatible wallet. And then like the next step, Krugo, if I have Linex, the next thing I should do, I should stake it, correct? And start participating.
Yeah, well, staking is yeah. What again? The bottom line is it's a utility token, and it's you gotta use it in order for it to really accrue the value that it holds within itself.
Yep.
So don't just leave it hanging on the exchange. Make sure you take it off the exchange and you. It's not called staking. We call it locking.
Yep.
So you can take your token. You can lock it for as long as you like. Obviously, the longer you lock it, the more voting power you get. And then you can delegate this voting power, or you can use it to vote yourself. If you're more confident in your own vote and you don't mind the extra overhead, go ahead and vote yourself. Yeah, so that's really the bread and butter of as a Linex token holder. You should lock your token and vote accordingly. As a Linex user, just come to our DEX and enjoy low slippage fees. As an LP, please add some liquidity, see how you like the options liquidity mining process. Yeah, there's many different hats to wear at Linex.
Yes, so just after this session, we're gonna ping you also to finalize the integration and get sure that we have like the smart contract address for the locking mechanism that we're gonna implement also inside the app, and getting sure that people can decide like the duration of the locking period and start interacting with all the functionality of your protocol also from Dopamine and connecting to your front. Yeah. We're gonna do that. It's very exciting for us to see this launch happening in real time. So Alex, are you still with us? Are you in the call with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, good, man. Just get prepared. The leaderboard prepared. I see there are a lot of people playing, and actually, like the top 5 is really like one nearby the other. So just get sure that we are gathering like the winner of today's battle. That are gonna receive like their Linex token. So Krugo, we're gonna sync up just after the call that we get sure like people are getting rewarded, and also like take all the questions that have not been answered during this live session, and also provide like much more goodies like during the day and follow you through the day, because it's gonna be an exciting day where I believe you're gonna be like up quite late in the night today still, with everything that you have to do today, correct, Krugo? Are you?
Yeah, man. Especially, you go ahead.
No, I was saying, like, are you energized, like enough? Like, did you took enough coffee and Red Bull and whatever you need?
100%. I didn't even need the coffee, but I'm on my like fourth cup of the day already. Yeah, it's gonna be a long night, especially with the time zone differences.
Yeah.
I'm in UTC +7. Some of our team is, I think, 10 hours earlier than me. So, I mean, in order to keep up with each other and keep communication up, we're gonna have to drink a lot of coffee today, but it's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited to have been here. I really appreciate taking the time to hear me out on this, and I'm looking forward to all of this.
Yeah, me too, Krugo, and I think like we've been very lucky like to find you just before your launch, because like it's my own opinion, okay, like no financial advice, nothing, but like the background of your founder, the experience that he gathered on AppSwap, the thing that he's actually building right now as a liquidity management tool, I think that was a very smart move, and I think that was like an underlooked project, and it's always great to be learning about a project and finding something like this just before the launch, you know. And no financial advice, but it's cool.
Yeah, definitely do your own research, but also we're very excited here.
Yeah, same here. Krugo, it was really a pleasure to have you today. Thank you so much, and thanks for the guy that put us in contact and help us bootstrap this stream. The goal of this stream, as always, to have fun together, playing together NFT wars, and learning about new cool projects that are launching. And I think this is a mission done for today. And yeah, let's get ready for the next one. In the same time, Alex, get sure that we have our winners.
Yep. 3 more minutes on the competition, and it's a close one, this one. So, yeah, let's see.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Krugo. And yeah, let's stay with us. We're going to do a little debrief and prepare like the reward for the community. Thank you, guys. We're going to stop the stream, go to Gate and MEXC, and be part of this launch of LionX with their links tokens. Thank you so much, guys.